I'm here with John Carlucci and Brandon LaGanke, the filmmaking duo also known as Ghost and Cow. And your feature debut, your feature-length film debut, I can talk, I promise. Drunk Bus will be available on demand this Friday, May 21st. And it centers on Michael, a miserable Ohio townie who drives the titular drunk bus around the campus of the college that he attended. And he's assigned a bodyguard named Pineapple, this big hulking dude with tattoos all over, after an assault. And during the course of the movie, Pineapple, in addition to protecting his new friend, also is charged with sort of helping him get over an ex-girlfriend. The movie is kind of like Better Off Dead meets Clerks meets Speed, but only in the fact that a lot of it takes place on the bus. But crazily enough, Brandon, this is based on your life, yours and Pineapple's life in a way. Tell me about that, and how did you come to make a movie based on this chapter of your life? And also, how much of this is a movie versus an autobiography? Like, how much truth is in it?
Well, first of all, I want to just acknowledge that you said Better Off Dead.
Yes.
That's amazing that you mentioned that, because that's something that that's our favorite film, and that's actually how we came together to start making this. So kudos to you for that.
Sidebar, just as a quick sidebar, it's my wife's favorite film. We got married, we had a Better Off Dead themed wedding, Better Off Red.
No way.
We sculpted little hamburger people as the bride and groom toppers. So that's
wow.
Back
that's
to you.
amazing.
You have to follow up with an email with a photo if you have one. I would love to see that.
All right, will do.
That's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah, it's actually if you watch Better Off Dead, you could see a little bit of kernels of Drunk Bus that we sort of were inspired by from that movie. So that definitely was a big inspiration. Anyways, yeah, so this is based, the job itself is based on my my experience. I drove the drunk bus at Kent State University from 2001 to 2005. And Pineapple was my actual security guard. So Pineapple is playing himself in the movie. So we got the real guy, which I think is interesting. But when I left Ohio and came to New York, and started becoming a filmmaker, and John and I met, John and I started ideating on what's our first feature. We went through horror films and all types of movies that hopefully we can make after this. But we landed on this drunk bus concept because I kept telling John about the concept, and he fell in love with it, and we just kind of created that. So that a lot of it came from there. John pulled experiences from his childhood, or sorry, from his well, I guess you're a child in college life, and our screenwriter Chris Molinaro also pulled some from his college days, and all three of us sort of just kind of came together, and there was a lot of originality through that. But the job itself was originally from me. But as we were pitching it, our sort of elevator pitch was sort of Clerks on a Bus, is kind of how we were kind of pitching it, because of the revolving door of characters and the sort of dead end job and the containedness of it. You want to add anything, John?
No, that's you answered correctly.
Excellent.
I'll just add that I shot a lot of water balloons in college. That's all I had to contribute to this movie.
Was it just water in those balloons?
No.
Okay, we don't have to go into that.
Yeah, that's a whole other 20-minute interview. I'll just say we had an R&D department in my college dorm, and we would experiment with many things.
Well, I understand that producer Eric Hollenbeck was instrumental in helping to put the film together. Did he, I don't know if I read this right, did he work on Moonrise Kingdom and Ozark? And is that where two of your leads, Charlie Tahan and Kara Hayward, came from? Or did you have those actors in mind and then just kind of lucked into have this relationship with someone who could help them get attached?
I believe that's incorrect information. I don't think Eric worked on either of those projects. He did work on Native Son, which was shot upstate.
Mm.
But no, Charlie obviously came from Ozark. Kara came from Moonrise. We had at one point a different actor attached, and we were kind of waiting. This version of Drunk Bus was kind of like in a deep freeze. It was probably going to sink, and we were sort of stuck. And we were kind of thinking about who could we, replace our current actor with. And it was the summer that season 1 of Ozark came out, and I'll never forget watching that episode where they go down to the Ozarks and they're in the motel, and you see Charlie on screen, and I was like, this kid is just, he feels so much like our Michael. He's a little like vulnerable, and he's a little quirky, but he's kind of cute, but he's kind of handsome. He's kind of like a leading man sort of quality, and I was like, it'd be so awesome if we could just get that guy. And sure enough, once we were able to move forward, our casting agent reached out to him, and he really loved the script. And we met with him, and he's a very funny person, so he really resonated to the style of humor. And it was kind of the same with Kara. We obviously knew her work too, and we met with her out in LA a couple of summers ago, and had a great first meeting with her, and she liked the script. And so we hadn't really targeted them for so long. We just were aware of their work and crossed our fingers.
Yeah, and then Charlie, we also loved Charlie in Super Dark Times. It was a great film, and he was just he was a little bit younger in that, but he was fantastic. And yeah, I just fell in love with him.
Was there something in him, because he's playing a version of you, Brandon? Was there something that you looked at and you thought, yeah, that was me at that age?
I've never really thought about it that way. I never thought of myself in that role. I honestly, I think I always just in my head, like, thought of, like, we're taking this job that I did to create a new character.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I never really thought of it like as it's my biographical, like, that Charlie is playing me. So I never really had that thought.
I think I might have seen more of a touchstone with him in that sense, where, I went to art school, and that's where you kind of discover who you are. And that's the thing with Michael, is he wasn't really sure what type of person he was. And that was kind of woven into the fabric of his relationship with his ex-girlfriend. As they got older, they were going to become two very different people. And that was reflective of a relationship I was in college, where I was going a route and my girlfriend was going a different route. And we didn't really we had two very different personalities that were forming. And I think Michael, for me, was sort of he's sort of this arty kid, but he's not really sure about it. And he's still discovering himself. So I think that was probably why I saw something about Charlie.
Cool. And
it's all about the long hair, man.
and there seems to be something universal in there, as well as the college sweethearts kind of stumbling into adulthood, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
I want to talk about Pineapple, though. He's, of all the excellent performances in the movie, I mean, he's a standout. What was that conversation like, as far as, kind of connecting or maybe even reconnecting with him after, the whole college and bus driving experience, to say, hey, we're going to make a movie about this. You want to be in it? Or was there a thought to maybe trying to find someone to play him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been in contact with Pineapple because we're friends, and I didn't just hit him up and say, hey man, I want to exploit you in a movie. Are you available? After like 12 years of not talking. But yeah, so we've been in contact. But yeah, I mean, I think initially we were thinking, we had a table read like way back when, like an early table read, not with any of the actors except for Pineapple. And we saw, like, we were like, oh, I'm not really, we're really not sure. And then we started thinking, like, all right, who can play this? Like, and then we were talking to Pineapple about, like, maybe you can consult, like, come in and consult with the actor. Because we really, I mean, I think there's like a little close to like 300 lines of dialogue for Pineapple in the script. And we're just like, if Pineapple's not good, this movie's gonna suck. Like, so do we risk this? And there was definitely a time early on where we were like, all right, maybe we can put like, I don't know, Reggie Watson face paint or something, or somebody else like, you know, Samoan in face paint. And we're just like, no, I think we just came to the decision that like we have to get the right person. And what we did is we spent years working with Pineapple. We did a lot of Zooms. We brought him to New York because he lives in Austin, Texas. We changed the dialogue with him. He's like, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. We changed, you know, mainly all he did was add fucks to the script. But and then we actually got him an acting coach. His name was Marco Pirelli, who was he was actually Pirello, sorry, who was the
Corella, actually.
Pirello, okay, who was the militant dad in Boyhood, of all people. But he was great with Pineapple. They worked together, and then the real kind of aha moment, the real moment of like we have a movie here is when we put him and Charlie together, and we did some rehearsals. You know, even before we went to Rochester to shoot the movie. And we filmed them, and we just saw the chemistry on and off the camera. It was just like, it was so real and so strong. And we were just like, oh yeah, this is going to be really good. This is going to be great. And Charlie helped him immensely because he's such a talented actor and he's so patient. And I think that the combination of the chemistry that they had in real life and Charlie kind of coaching him and allowing him to be himself, but also like be a bigger character than real life. I think that combination really helped the two of them kind of shine on screen.
Yeah, it was neat on set. On our off days, they would hang out, and Pineapple kind of has this inherent protection mode. And I think, and it's funny because if those two walk into a room, everyone's going to look at Pineapple. But a lot of people were recognizing Charlie, and they might kind of approach him. And I think Pineapple sort of took this protective role of just kind of like, hey, he wasn't vocal about it, but I think he was just tuned into, because Charlie, he doesn't always like to be approached and stuff. And
he was the security guard. He was Charlie's security guard.
Pineapple tuned into that. It was kind of like, yeah, it was a cool dynamic. The cool thing with Pineapple being in the project was, it's obviously a challenge to make your first feature. And we knew we were up against a lot of new and interesting challenges, but I think part of the attractive dynamic of using Pineapple is that this is going to be a challenge as a director, because you're working with someone who has such a meaty role and is going to need to be directed. And it's not just like, oh, we can put actors on set and kind of roll the dice or maybe push a little bit. It was kind of a challenge for us to step up as, real narrative directors. And it was a fun challenge.
Well, we also have a lot of experience with like they say, and currently we make money. Our like side job is commercials. Like we make commercials and stuff, and we work with what they say real people, as opposed to like fake people. But because they don't want actors, they want like real people that we have to make an actor. It's really stupid. Anyways, so we've actually had a lot of experience over the years of working with people that are not actors and bringing that out of them. So it was that helped us a little bit.
We have a lot of
a little bit with the Pineapple.
Yeah.
Sidebar, I got to ask you, because I watched your short Drone Boning, which was quite amazing. Were those real people or actors?
They were all robots.
Oh, sorry. Did I just go off screen for a second?
Yeah, they were all real people, but not. We had a mix. Some were actors and some knew each other. Some were couples that knew each other. It was a mix, but it was definitely an interesting shoot. It was crammed into a Labor Day weekend of running into parks, setting up talent, throwing the drone in the air, and be like, okay, go. Getting the shot and then getting the hell out of there.
Well, it is quite something, because watching that and then watching Drunk Bus, you can definitely see the humor sensibilities, but I wasn't quite prepared for the drama. You know, it is a truly special, I think, dramedy and sort of coming of age, but for, you know, older people, on, you know, college age kids. It's really affecting. I want to ask you though, a lot of stuff happens on and off the drunk bus in this movie. Was there anything from the real life experience that was drawn from for the script of those 4 years of driving the bus that didn't make it into into the movie? Anything too outrageous to put on film or incriminating?
Hmm.
I think just boobs. I mean, I can't answer for Brandon, but
I mean,
I heard a lot of stories about boobs coming out. We didn't do that.
well, we just didn't want to. There's no nudity in this film because we didn't want to make that kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because like we were told not to keep. It was a decision from us as two male directors not wanting to make that kind of road trippy. Let's show some boot. Like I don't know. I just like we wanted to be more sophisticated and more modern and not tone deaf and
We have
so that's
taste.
why we didn't choose to put boobs in there. But I guess that did happen. To be honest, like I didn't really have a lot of crazy stories. It's just people drunk and whatever. I mean, here's one. I actually just remembered one. We kind of made it in there. We kind of put one character and another character and merged them together. And it's the F You Bob character. And it's this other character who he was the town drunk. I don't remember his name, but he was in a motorized wheelchair, and and everybody knew about this. He got 7 DUIs on this thing. And he would ride the bus once in a while. And he was a little rowdy, and like he was like kind of a jerk. The pooping on the bus is a real story. That really happened. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to another bus driver friend of mine who was driving this loop. It wasn't on the drunk bus. It was on a loop called the campus loop, which I think you can maybe figure out what we called that route after this happened. I don't have to say it, but
I'll say it.
Campus poop.
Campus poop.
But
I was going to say the poop loop.
The poop loop. That's better, actually. But this girl got on his bus, and she just kind of like stopped, and she like had a stomach ache, and she was wearing a dress, and it just came out. And the issue wasn't that she just pooped herself. It was like, sorry, I'm going to get a little graphic. It was kind of like black tar. Like she actually had a problem. It was like an intestinal problem, and they had to take her away. And
oh my God.
She was a
we
host
didn't
for
want to.
Alien.
Yeah, we didn't want to show that. We wanted to have more fun with it and actually show the poop, because that's disgusting. Although there were shots originally in our shot list of like underneath the dress and the thing coming in, hitting the camera, and like
We had fake poop on set ready to go.
yeah, we were going to do it, but again, we kind of pulled back the yuck there and the literal yuck.
There's no need to
remember you
bring
told
in
me a
Human
story.
Centipede 2 into this production. You made the wise choice.
There was a
Brandon, you
scene
told
that
me-
we cut. There was a scene that we cut because of budget, and there's a scene where Charlie or Michael is facing Todd, about to headbutt him. And what we had originally scripted is, and this is kind of coming from a little bit like High Fidelity, Better Off Dead, I guess, ish, where he had visions. Michael takes off on the bus, and he goes on a rampage where I think there was like a priest trying to get on the bus, and it goes past his arm, and his arm flies off, and he runs over kids, and I don't know, and then police are after him, and it wasn't. There's other stuff there, but
That would have been more speed.
Yeah.
More of
the producer Eric Hollenbeck definitely put he's like, guys, can we do this another way? Because it was going to be a 1 day of shooting, and it was going to cost like, I don't know how much money to do all that crap. But
well,
that's.
I would say that was a good call. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me for a bit about Drunk Bus. As I mentioned, it's available on demand on Friday. That's May 21st. For those who are watching it now or in the future, definitely check it out on demand. Good luck with whatever your next venture is. I'll be definitely checking it out, because this film is one of the best things I've seen so far this year. It's very touching and also hilarious. So congratulations
Oh,
again.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks a lot. This was fun. It was good talking to you.
All right, cool. And I'll send you that picture of my wedding cake.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you, did you guys come down the aisle to Everybody Wants Some?
No, it was a combination of the theme song for Ever After and Little Green Bag from Reservoir Dogs. It was a movie-themed crazy deal, but yeah.
That sounds awesome.
All
You
right.
know, John Cusack doesn't like that movie.
I've heard, and that broke my heart.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
sincerely.
he's since recanted, because I think he's been confronted about it enough times where he's like, I never really said that, or I don't feel that way anymore. He won't like fully recant, but I think he walks it back a little bit now.
Well, and rightfully so. That movie's a classic. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.